Nope.
Beautiful Austin, Texas, home of the Greenbelt, a plethora of delicious tacos, and, of course, some truly terrifying haunts. I recently came back from a vacation in Austin, and while I was there, I only visited one of the places that are featured in this video, and even that was on accident. A lot of the stories on this channel focus on Chicago since that's where I'm located, but Austin is a city that has truly won my heart. If there is a city in particular that you would like me to investigate, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, sit back, relax, and brace yourself for 5 haunted places in Austin, Texas. Number 1. Austin's Inn at Pearl Street. Often referred to simply as the Pearl, this building has been around since 1896 and was once the private residence of Judge Charles A. Wilcox and his family. Almost a century later, the home was purchased by someone who wanted to renovate the building and bring it back to its former glory as a boutique hotel. What the new owner did not anticipate was the presence of a couple of ghoulish spirits. Of these spirits includes what appears to be a mother and her twin baby boys. This woman has been seen carrying her twins, floating in the halls to a rocker where she sits and rocks them to sleep. Along with the ghosts being seen, odd sounds occur around the Pearl, including music. Names can also be heard being called out for the owner, as well as selected guests. The lights in the inn also appear to have a mind of their own. Some of these issues with the sounds and lights can only be attributed to a ghostly presence, as on a few occasions during renovation, the power to the building was completely shut off. Number 2. The Texas Governor's Mansion. Two of the most notorious ghosts of the mansion were both former governors. The ghost of Sam Houston is said to linger in his former bedroom. Many visitors over the years have claimed to see his ghostly figure in the room that he once occupied when he served as governor. The ghost of Pendleton Murrah, also a former governor, has appeared inside the mansion and on the grounds. The most famous legend, however, is not of a governor, but instead is the tragic story of a young man who was staying in the mansion. He was apparently in his teens and was courting the niece of Governor Murrah. According to the legend, this young man proposes to Murrah's niece, was rejected, and ended up taking his own life in his guest room in the mansion. Since his death, there has been an endless amount of paranormal activity in that room. People living in the mansion since that time, or visiting, have claimed that the room is constantly the source of unpleasant noises, including moaning and the sound of someone gasping for breath. The noises were so frustrating that one of the former governors had the room sealed off, and sadly, that did not stop the noises. Number 3. The Shoal Creek Indian Massacre Site. A gentleman by the name of Gideon White made the decision to have a home in the close proximity to Shoal Creek in 1839. He built his log cabin there, despite the warnings from people who urged him to reconsider. Things were fine for 3 years or so, until, according to reports, White was killed by some Native Americans. Since his death, people who have visited that area have discovered many different graves. The graves are said to be that of Gideon White as well as several people who died from yellow fever, cholera, and other tragedies. With so many bodies buried in that location, it is not unusual to feel cold spots, hear unusual noises, or see apparitions. Because of the amount of activity in that area, people are not even permitted to visit the creek after 10 p.m. Number 4. The Littlefield House. The beautifully bone-chilling Littlefield home was built for Major George Washington Littlefield in 1894. The Major and his wife lived in the home without any children until they both died. Upon their death, the home was bequeathed to the University of Texas at Austin. Since becoming property of the university, the first floor of the building serves as a site for university events. The staff that work in the building say you can see Alice's ghost roaming around the grounds and around the house. Some people even say you can hear Alice playing the piano throughout all hours of the night. Number 5. The Driscoll Hotel. Located in downtown Austin, right off of the iconic 6th Street Strip, the luxurious hotel has a very rich history. A member of the Historic Hotels of America, the Driscoll has 189 suites and guest rooms, a gorgeous wedding venue, professionally trained staff, an award-winning restaurant, and, well, a haunted room on the 5th floor. The hotel's 4th floor is rumored to be the home of a woman who committed suicide. The spirit of a female has been seen on the 4th floor. The hotel staff has also reported a woman crying on the 4th floor, even when there is no one there. Lastly, there is a documented story of a young girl who was the daughter of a senator that met her fate while playing with a ball on the grand staircase. You might just have a ghostly encounter with Colonel Driscoll himself. If at any point during your time in the hotel, you smell the faint scent of cigar smoke with no logical explanation of the source, you just might be in the company of the Confederate colonel. And I bet he doesn't take too kindly to Yankees. Room 525 is rumored to be the most haunted room in the entire hotel. It is believed that 2 young women who were in the hotel for their honeymoon committed suicide in the room 20 years apart from each other. For a short period of time, the room was completely blocked off from anybody staying in it. The room was opened again during the renovation in 1998, and since then, strange occurrences have been reported. Some of those reports include ghostly apparitions, unexplained leaks, sensations, distant voices, and other unexplained noises. The Driscoll Hotel is where I found myself a few weeks ago. One of my friends dragged us into the hotel to grab a drink, since he is an adamant history buff. It wasn't until about half an hour in that he mentioned the place's dark history. I immediately round up our group and ventured to the 5th floor. We found room 525 and hung around a little before realizing we were the only creepy things on the floor, since we heard hotel guests inside the room. Nothing paranormal. Until right before we got back into the elevator. Of the 4 of us, 3 of us all heard what sounded like an extremely brief but undeniable scream coming from around the hallway that led directly to 525. The 3 of us that heard it all bared the same look of terror on our face at the same time. We all agreed it didn't sound like a muffled scream from behind a wall or a distant scream from far away. It sounded like it came from right around the corner from where we were. Needless to say, we hightailed it into the elevator and got off of that floor. I've seen enough horror movies to know not to go exploring too far. If you're interested in watching a bit of our time in the Driscoll, I'll leave a link below to the vlog I made. I'll set it so it automatically takes you to that part of the video, so you don't have to skip through looking for it. Unfortunately, I was not recording when we heard the scream, just FYI. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this week's video. If you did, be sure to murder that like button and subscribe for future videos. Time for the question of the week, and it will be a simple one. If you had to spend one night in the most haunted section of any of these 5 places, which one would scare you the most? Personally, I would say it would be the Shoal Creek Indian Massacre site. Something about Native American horror and lore really gets under my skin. Get it? Skinwalkers? Never mind. Also, just a quick reminder, if you have a city in mind that should be featured in one of these style videos in the future, drop the city name down below and I will begin researching it. With that said, everybody, remember to stay safe out there. I'll be seeing you in the next video.